GoYe Village again, and we're going to take a look at 3 gardens today. And the last one here is Leon Friends. And Leon, it was a couple of years ago, a little later in the year, that we were out here and you rototilled for us and you were still gardening this same spot. I guess maybe that year the squash was your first year. You were saying you'd grown this here about 3 years?
Yeah.
Tell us a little something about the variety and everything, how it produces and stuff.
It's a variety of butternut. It's called Windsor Round, and I like it because it's compact. The squash is compact and there's very little waste to it. Has a very small interior and lots of meat. Good for pumpkin pies, pumpkin bread, and just to eat as a vegetable on the table.
So now what's the name of it again? Windsor Round?
Windsor, W-I-N-D-S-O-R.
Windsor Round, okay. I missed that. I was thinking wind. When we came up here this morning, you wanted to know about the soil samples that we pulled, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. This, I believe, is the sample for your garden, and we might take just a minute to explain it to you, and maybe the viewers will find a little something on it that they can make of use. Part of the reason I didn't get back to you is because this is such a good garden spot and everything seems to be doing right. So, you know, the fact that you know what you're doing and you just kind of improved on things that were already good when you got here, everything's pretty good. First off, the pH level at 6.7, that's just about perfect. We try to get at 6.8. If we can get something over 6, 6.2 gets a little better. That's where we try to get to. So pH-wise there on the top at 6.7, that's just about perfect. The second one down that's highlighted in the green there, that's nitrogen. And at 47, that means you've got a fair amount of nitrogen, not really too much, maybe a little bit more. Get a lot of people that are worried about their gardens because they're just not growing good. Send a soil sample off and it may come in 5 or 9. Well, at that low, you can expect the lower leaves of a lot of plants to be real yellow and they just don't grow that well. So, and chances are if we pulled a sample today, it would be considerably different than that. Higher or lower, I don't know, but that's a volatile number. And your soil will need a little nitrogen, or it'll use a little nitrogen and then have to build it up in the winter or something. So 47 is a pretty good number there. The one that's kind of highlighted in orange there at 180, that's really a pretty good phosphorus level. Now, I say that, and with us being in Cherokee County and everybody worrying about the phosphorus going in the Illinois River, 65 is actually adequate. And but if you're constantly putting stuff on your garden, you're going to get above 65. It can run up as high as 700 and not really have any bad effect on your growing crops. The worry there is if it erodes and runs off in the streams and you get that phosphorus loading and the stream turns green instead of blue. But right here in an area like this, well, I don't think we have too much trouble about some of the soil coming off your garden and washing through all this grass that's around here and ended up in the river. So that's really not anything to worry about as far as I'm concerned. The 295 potassium is right at the level that you want it to be. They started off saying for years and years that 250 was adequate. They continue to bump that up a little bit. So at 295, you're right there where they're saying people need to be. Once again, out in western Oklahoma, they'll have potassium levels that'll run 1100 or so just naturally occurring. Potassium in this area washes out of the ground, and so you end up with it leaches through the ground and you end up with a less potassium level than you would have. But all in all, that's just pretty much a perfect deal, and you don't find that very much. One comment I'll make about potassium is Bermuda grass really loves it, and even though this isn't a Bermuda grass garden, most homeowners find if they will put out just 0060, they can really help their Bermuda grass yard a little bit. So kind of keep that in mind. But Leon, overall, you got an excellent garden spot here, which you already knew that because you're growing enough squash here for the entire GoYe Village in this part of the town and everything. Have any questions or comments, or want to tell us a little something about how things grew this year or anything?
Everything grew real well. My tomatoes, I put out the Better Boy variety, and I had several of the first round of tomatoes weighed right at a pound. So big around. Really good. The early things, the lettuce, spinach, radishes did not do good. But the lettuce and spinach was excellent, and right on down the road, the other beans and corn did well. Everything's done well. Now, I did something this past year, and some of the other gardeners here used some too. I put a sheetrock, broke sheetrock up on the garden spaces and rototilled it in to get that gypsum that I felt you had expressed the other time you were out here that would give us the gypsum that we need for that potassium.
Yeah, calcium sulfate is what's in gypsum, and that calcium is in a different form than you get in lime, and so it gets in the soil and it does what they call flocculate the soil. It helps it to be more loose. Did you kind of find that with it?
Yeah, really, and everything grew. The tomatoes were much better. Everything was really greener and seemed to withstand the dry season better.
Well, good deal. I know that sure doesn't hurt anything to do that. Sometimes it's a little bit of a difficulty trying to find it and get it done, but I've had good luck with it too. Well, Leon, we've enjoyed being out here, and as usual, while y'all have kind of a unique place to live here and a unique area, and it's always good to come out here and visit, and one of these days, if I live to be old enough, maybe I'll have a garden spot out here.
You'll be welcome.
Thank you, Leon.
And we appreciate your visits and the information you share with us. It's helpful.
And as always, might put a pitch in here for the Extension office. Have any kind of questions, why call 456-6163. If I can't answer it over the phone, I'll come visit and see if I can figure it out. If I can't figure it out, we'll get somebody at Stillwater, or at least try to get you some kind of an answer. And once again, it's all free other than the soil sample, and provided by the cooperation between the county commissioners and the state and Oklahoma State University and the federal government. So until next time, while out here at GoYe Village, and come visit them. Out here. What's the you want to start that over?
Oh, I smell outtakes.